Welcome back. Let's close as we always do. Head around the Inside Politics table, ask our great reporters, share a little something from their notebooks, get you out ahead of the big political news just around the corner. Nia Malika Henderson.
So the Census Director, John Thompson, announced that he's going to step down at the end of June. He doesn't have a deputy right now, nor does he have anyone to report to at the census. These vacancies come as the census prepares for a really big census in 2020 and the prep work to do that really extensive project around the country. Why is the census important? It's connected to federal funding. It's also connected to congressional representatives. One of the things to look for is who gets this slot and what the budgeting is for the census going forward, because it is important, at least historically it's been important, to ramp up the spending in the census in advance of the 2020 and those decade census counts.
Yet another help-wanted vacancy sign of the Trump administration. Yeah. Carl?
I'm going to be doing a piece this week on Republicans in the Senate to watch on the Russia investigation. The Intel Committee, there's a group of 4 Republican senators who have really shown determination. They want to see this through. Roy Blunt is one of them, Susan Collins. Roy Blunt says, you know, we want to be able to show people that we talked to everyone that we should have talked to, and we've seen every document we should have seen. So how these Republicans are going to be working in this new environment.
Keep an eye on that, how the special counsel impacts that, Manu.
Exactly.
John, on Friday, when the Senate Intelligence Committee said that they would hear from James Comey in an open session, there were some members who were angry on the Senate Judiciary Committee. Those are the chairman of the committee, Chuck Grassley, the Dianne Feinstein, and also the ranking Democrat. This is all part of an increasingly tense turf war between the Intelligence Committee and Judiciary Committee over getting access to information and to documents. The Judiciary Committee has oversight over the FBI, and some of those members are not happy that they have not gotten some information. This comes also as one of the chairmen of the subcommittee on the Judiciary Committee, Lindsey Graham, started to assert himself on the Russia probe, heard from Sally Yates in a hearing that actually undercut the House Intelligence Committee's effort to hear from Sally Yates. So this is not just about egos and personality. It also has an impact because at the end of the day, the key committees are the ones that are going to write the reports and tell the American people exactly what happened here.
Right. Not just about ego and personalities, but there's a lot of ego and personality there, Karen.
Well, and certainly one of the questions that was raised with the appointment of a special counsel is what that would do to all of these investigations on Capitol Hill. It was interesting on Friday when the Deputy Attorney General Rod Rosenstein was up there. He was pressed on this issue. And what's interesting was that he actually encouraged them to go full speed ahead. He said, as long as you've got a point of contact in the Justice Department, go for it. And that, I think, is important, especially to these endangered Republicans. They really feel like they cannot be seen as putting the brakes on this.
Aggressive oversight. We'll see if it continues. I'll close with this. The words "out of the loop" returned to our political conversation this past weekend. Well, it stirred a little sense of deja vu. The phrase was found this week in stories quoting people close to Mike Pence, suggesting the vice president feels more than a little frustrated with all this controversy swirling around the Trump White House and his role in selling the explanations. History tells us this subplot is worth watching. Big investigations have a way of straining the relationship between the president and his number 2. It happened in the Iran-Contra investigation, where then VP George H.W. Bush famously claimed to be out of the loop on the bad stuff. The Monica Lewinsky scandal was the last straw in Al Gore's relationship with Bill Clinton. And a special counsel investigation that led to charges against Scooter Libby caused major tensions between President George W. Bush and Vice President Dick Cheney. Too soon to say if history will repeat itself here, but it's one of the many interesting subplots to keep an eye on. That's it for Inside Politics. Again, thanks for sharing your Sunday. Hope to see you at noon Eastern for Inside Politics weekdays. Next, State of the Union with Jake Tapper, including, stay with us, live coverage of the president's speech to that big Islamic summit in Saudi Arabia. Enjoy your Sunday.